a video here. These are a few clips from MSNBC. This is a boat that is just about underwater. I think at the first of the year, they're going to try to change it to MSNOW, MS Now, News, Opinion, World. So they're really just running out the clock here with MSNBC, and they have gone full retard. Full fucking retard. Obviously, the news breaks about Charlie Kirk being shot. They don't have any information at all at that point, just that he had been shot. MSNBC in this first clip suggests, well, just listen to what they believe might have happened at this.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
In which a shooting like this.
Can you even fathom how unbelievably retarded you need to be to say, well, we don't know what happened, but it could be a supporter shooting his gun off in celebration? You might as well say, we don't know what happened. It could be a meteor that hit him from space. How do you come up with something like that? And I'll tell you why. Because these retards have this impression that anyone that would agree with Charlie Kirk's take on this country is Yosemite Sam. Ooh, you varmint! Just firing his guns in celebration. What are we, Al Qaeda? What are we, Muslims? That's this guy's impression. His impression is that when you hear Charlie speaking eloquently, logically, reasonably, knowledgeable, when he debates these people that come up to debate him in a forum that is the epitome of the First Amendment, that his supporters get so wound up that they feel compelled to just pull out their weapons and start firing them. Not even in the air, mind you, at Charlie Kirk. This guy, how is he on any form of media whatsoever? I wouldn't let this guy speak on a CB radio because his moronic, idiotic thought process conveyed to a truck driver might make him crash. I don't know. There's no media this guy should be part of. But there he is on MSNBC, the last breaths of MSNBC before they change to the same fucking thing, just with a cheaper staff. And maybe that was just a one-off. Maybe that was someone, and I'm sure when they went to break, they chastised that man and came back maybe with another clip. Let's listen to another clip here.
Which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt,
and that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Turning Point USA has confirmed that he was shot.
So this genius says that you can't think things. You can't have these thoughts. We heard him say that. Dare you voice your thoughts? Without expecting some type of action like being shot. The guy just said that. You have your own independent thoughts. You voice them. Well, it's all part and parcel of, being shot. He just said that. Your thoughts. And you speak them. You should expect. He said you should expect actions. And they're talking about Charlie Kirk being shot. They believe this. They think like this. They don't even have any embarrassment saying it, except for the embarrassment of being on MSNBC, which they obviously don't have that either. But is that astounding? Justifying the actions of shooting someone because they dared have a thought and then voice that thought. You motherfucker. I don't know where do they come from? And how is the body count being chalked up on our side in this war when they're this stupid? Because we're patient. We've been patient. Well, I guess that's it for the MSNBC clips. There couldn't possibly be another one from MSNBC of them saying something unbelievably fucking stupid in light of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Oh, there is. Go figure. Let's watch.
Because as we were just talking about a moment ago with Alan, after one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next. But Kirk,
Because
they're talking about how Trump's going to use this for something. What? Maybe trying to keep people from being assassinated in the future. Maybe to make cities safer. Maybe to that this will be the tipping point, and we'll finally say enough and hold people accountable. Bodily rip people out of the Capitol building. And I'm not talking about January 6ers. Removing judges from the benches and attorneys general, and prosecutors, and pulling them out into the fucking streets because they've done nothing to make people safer. I guarantee you, whoever did this to Charlie Kirk will have some fucking form of mental illness. I was just right before I heard about Charlie Kirk, I was taping my 15-minute segment for the podcast that I do on WABC. And it was all about mental illness and how it's become an excuse for murder. They murder somebody, people, and then the likes of Whoopi and Joy Behar and Van Jones on CNN, they all want to go, well, he was mentally ill. Van Jones actually said something to the effect of, well, he was hurting. Not enough. And they act like mental illness is an excuse. Oh, he murdered someone. Well, what was his mental health? Oh, he was a schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. So throw the schizophrenic in prison. And if you think that's a little too tough and he's hurting, take all the money that we've saved cutting the ridiculous bullshit liberal mental health programs that did nothing. They hug people. Oh, you poor mentally ill person. And then back out in the streets, go kill someone. Instead of those wasteful programs that Doge cut, because that's what they were talking about. They're trying to blame Trump. Whoopi Goldberg on The View and Joy Behar on The View, bitching that it's Trump's fault what happened with the girl, Iriana, because Trump cut the mental health programs, some of the mental health programs. Well, he cut the wasteful mental health programs, the ones that say that violent schizophrenics should be allowed out there as long as they come back and we can pat their head and rub their back and shove pharmaceuticals down their throats. that they'll forget the second they leave the halfway house and start stabbing people again. Yeah, that program that costs millions of dollars, fuck it, cut it. And take the money and give it to a good old Gothic architect. Someone that could build a giant, scary building with gargoyles on the corners and bars on the windows. And shove your nuts, not your nuts, shove the nuts right in there. Lock the door, and who gives a fuck what happens inside? And if you want to contribute money or your time, you're a doctor, to open that door and go in there and help these fucking nuts, that's your prerogative. I don't want to pay for it as a taxpayer. I just want them put away somewhere where they're not murdering everybody. That's all I want. You want to start a charity that can get doctors in there and social workers, and they could hug them in the big Gothic building? Go to it. You guys have a pisser. If they ain't on the trains or walking the streets or on the buses, I'm fine. Whatever you do with them, just keep that door locked and keep them in that building, and we're fine. So when Whoopi starts talking about mental health, it's not this thing where he's a murderer. He's a racist murderer. He said, I got that white girl. And that's up here. But mental illness, that's here. All of a sudden, it's not as bad. The girl's just as dead. And this guy's just as dangerous, if not more. So why do I give a fuck about his mental health?
Not to belabor the point, but now the mainstream press is reporting that he has died. So we already knew that, but yeah.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Oh, boy, that is a shame. I was surprised when I saw Glenn Beck saying that he was in critical condition, but they were stabilizing him and he had a pulse and everything. That's kind of like, they must have gotten him there pretty quickly, because I will not play it on my show. Like I said earlier, we've seen enough snuff films. And if you want to see it, I mean, it's almost unavoidable at this point when you're scrolling through social media. It's almost unavoidable if you don't want to see it. And if you're sensitive to shit like that, I would suggest you don't watch it. It is graphic. He gets clipped right in the neck. An amount of blood comes out you wouldn't even think is real. That's the frightening part of what we are able to see these days. It is the realism, the brutal realism of what carnage looks like. It ain't a movie. Oh, you got me. Oh, you got me. Nope. It is fucking brutal. Yeah, the amount of blood was shocking. And to see that, I don't think you have to be anyone in the medical field to look and go, yeah, that's not going to bode well for him. It's a shame. I feel so bad. Beautiful wife and kids, very spiritual, a Christian man. And his only crime, voicing an opinion that the left doesn't agree with. Yep. How often does the left walk around voicing their opinions, and more than just opinions? We've seen them shove these drag queens into elementary schools and libraries and actually taking their opinions, their thoughts and their words and transforming them into actual actions. We will put a man in the junior high school girls' locker room naked. We will do that. We won't just talk about it. We're not just thinking it. We're not just saying we want this to happen, and then you debate it and say that's a horrible fuck idea. No, they do it. And then when we voice our displeasure with that, and perhaps on occasion go through legal channels to try to stop things from happening, you're killed. You're murdered by the left. So, you know, we are so fucking divided right now as a country. It's political lines, ideological lines, left and right, and racial lines, unbelievably. And it's, you know, there is not a speck of light at the end of this tunnel, my friends. Not a speck of fucking light. This is only getting worse. And the patient people have lost their patience. And what that means, I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm not one of these guys that comes up with these death wish scenarios, you know, oh, you're going to get people going out there and shooting up this, or, you know, we're going to do that. I still have enough, either it's faith that the right won't act like that, or I'm a little disappointed that the right won't act like that. I don't know what it is. But something has to be done, and something will be done.